I thought this week I would take you along on a little bit of my week, and this week is actually the last slow summer week, or at least I consider it to be the very last slow summer week for myself and my family. We are very soon going to be starting up with hockey, so that will take up an enormous amount of time. And it's definitely a time that I sort of see as like summer, slow summer, and then when hockey starts up, it's just like go, 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 go. And that also sort of coincides like when school is starting, so it all kind of works out. Today is Monday, and I'm using this day as a prep day. Now, I know a lot of people have what they call like reset days, and they'll often do them like on Sundays or the weekend. For me, that changes every single week. This week just happened to be Monday, and I kind of see my prep days as days to get things done, get things made, because I am trying this year to make a lot more of our staple items for the kitchen for groceries from scratch. So like bread, granola bars. I'm toying around with trying to make oat milk and just a lot of things like that, where rather than just automatically assuming I'm going to buy it from the store and end up with who knows what in our food, I am making a conscious effort to make things at home from scratch as much as possible. This process is still very much trial and error. You can see me checking the recipe a lot for these. I'm making granola bars right here. And I actually really like this recipe. It's worked out really well. I was sort of messing around with just using up what little ingredients we had left. Like this was the very bottom of a jar of honey. And yeah, like I had just tried to make my first round of oat milk and came out with all of the leftover oats. So I was figured I would just add it into the granola bars because waste not, want not. And it was just kind of an adventure in, switching out ingredients, adjusting amounts, and it turned out really well. I was really proud of them. Now that I've started bread, I've got granola bars setting in the fridge. It's time to do some cleanup, which is a never-ending chore on prep days when you're making things in the kitchen. But that's okay, because once that happens and everything is getting ready and setting, that means I can sit down and get some work done on my computer. And the nice thing about slow summer days is that I have a little bit more leniency to be able to sit down and get work done throughout the day, because once school starts, that's not really an option anymore. And here you will see a little gremlin pop up on the table. This is Kiki. She came from our big barn. She came when she was pretty sick as a baby, her and her mom. Her mom has been spayed and is back at the big barn living that barn cat life. But Kiki has stayed here with us, and we're just kind of seeing what the next steps are with her as we wait for her to be old enough to get spayed. Okay, back to the kitchen, because the bread is done with its first rise, and I need to shape that and put it in for its final rise and get the oven started downstairs because it is hot and we don't want to make the upstairs any hotter than it has to be. Fun fact is that even though I have been exploring and loving using sourdough this year. I don't prefer the taste of sourdough sandwich bread, so I'm still making a yeast loaf when I'm making homemade bread, and maybe that'll change. I also didn't like how much flour sourdough bread recipes called for. It just seemed like a huge amount of flour, and I would be going through flour like crazy. So for right now, my yeast bread is perfectly fine. We all enjoy it, and that's what I'll keep working on. Okay, bread is in the oven. It's time to cut up these granola bars, which are actually granola squares because I like the little square shape. It just seems like a more manageable serving size for us. And these things are really tough. I don't know why this batch is so much harder than usual, but you can see me struggling here for a little while, and I do get through it, and they are just as delicious as ever. My favorite part of prep day, I think, is when this baby is all done and comes out of the oven, and you just get to have that amazing smell of warm homemade bread just everywhere in your house. Like, it's just like, it's so good. I love it so much. But yeah, I was really proud of this one. I was actually kind of unsure how she would turn out. She wasn't rising as much as possible, and she wasn't rising as much as she usually does, but she turned out just fine. And here's a little savings tip for you. Save your butter wrappers and put them in your freezer after you are done with them. And then whenever you make bread, it's super quick and easy to pull out one of those wrappers and just let it melt on top of your hot loaf, and it just uses up. I feel like it's much easier than like getting butter out or using like the end of a butter stick. And it's also a little bit more zero waste for your kitchen. One recipe I have loved with sourdough is sourdough pizza crust. I have started making a sourdough pizza crust for our pizza night, and I can't believe just how much better it is. So you can see me here, I'm just enjoying my leftovers and just kind of watching some crazy kids in the kitchen through our little pass-through window, but this stuff is good. Welcome to Tuesday of this last slow summer week. I'm out of the kitchen today. I mean, you're never really out of the kitchen, but it's not a big focus of this day. I am sitting down. I'm having my little afternoon rest upstairs in my room. You can see my little bubberkins, my little bubbins is up there coming to say hi to me. You see, I'm sitting on the floor, and I have been toying around experimenting the last year or two with more furniture-free type living arrangements. Just trying to mix up and add in more like floor sitting versus like couch or chair, or even like sitting on my bed in the afternoon. I know it's really good for, like things like flexibility and using muscles that we don't always use as adults when we are often sitting at computers or at desks all day. So just trying to make some little changes like that to hopefully stay nice and limber and strong as I age. I'm also trying to learn how to knit. Like, you don't ever see me get much farther than these couple of rows because I've had a really hard time getting the hang of it, and I feel like I finally did. Like, I feel like this day I actually did a couple of rows of knit stitch and purling, and it looked right and it didn't feel hard. But as I was telling my son, because we're all learning to knit together now for this school year, it gets difficult when you're not paying attention to like knit a row, purl a row, because I keep forgetting. So I need to figure out a system of like maybe just writing down a K and a P or something to keep track of all that. But you can just see us here. We're just curling up over there. Oh, Cricket, you're so cute. Yeah, and then I have been rewatching Outlander, the first season. I started the second season again, but I just wasn't really into it, so I have actually stopped watching that as of right now. But the first season was a nice little way to relax on these hot summer days, because I feel like, getting to explore Scotland in the Highlands when it's hot outside here just makes everything feel like, oh, maybe it will be cool. It'll be cool again soon. Wednesday was actually pretty darn cool, thank goodness. I was getting a little stir crazy inside, so I decided to take my book that I'm reading and my notebook and just go sit outside for a little while. We were actually watching my niece for the week, and my kids were out there playing hide and seek with her, which is really cute to watch them as a teenager and almost a teenager playing with, their little 6-7-year-old cousin and having a great time. But yeah, here I am just enjoying nature, being outside, pretending like we live in some sort of beautiful, cool place during the summer. I've mentioned before in a previous video how I set anchors for my life to help with the slow living mentality, and reading for me is definitely an anchor, especially getting to read during the day, getting to be able to just take a book, go sit somewhere quiet, whether that's inside or outside, is just wonderful, and it's just really a great way to slow down and take stock of your life at that moment. Like, how is your day going? How is your week going? And then just sort of take a few minutes to get lost in a really good book. It's Thursday, and I've been feeling like the last 2 days I have not really been getting up and moving around as much as I probably should. So I decided Thursday afternoon that I was going to go on what I like to call a trash walk. We have a little route that my kids and I take, and we just bring along some bags like from the store, and we just pick up trash along this little route. It's not long, but it definitely helps us feel like we're making a difference in the amount of trash in the world. And after a quick stop at our senior pasture, just to say hello to these cuties, it's time to get walking. So here's the bag, starting on the hill where there's always trash. I don't know what people are doing. I'm pretty sure it's teenagers and just people who don't care. But anyway, you can see there's always things like beer cans, soda cups from like gas stations, glass bottles even. But I am always amazed when I get home, even when it's just a quick walk, how much trash. Like, I've almost filled this entire store bag with trash, and that was maybe 2 blocks worth of walking. We ended the day on Thursday by riding our bikes down to our big barn to feed the barn cats, and just getting to take a nice little bike ride through our town, our village, and enjoy some slightly cooler weather for the evening. Good morning. It is bright and early on Friday, as I like to call it here. It's Farmette Friday. It's the day where we get to do more farm-based chores like cleaning the senior barn pasture of manure. There's Lipton. He's just munching away after having his nice little night inside. Miss Spirit is slowly making her way out. She actually has a condition that makes her feet sore, So she moves a little bit slower in the mornings, but she's still so cute when she comes out, starts stretching around. And I know this doesn't seem like it'd be a slow week activity, but it's yet again an anchor for me. I put an earmark on Fridays so that I have time to be able to be out here and be with these two cuties and just get chores done, which in and of itself can be very satisfying. And just, it's something that I love to do that, I can mark it off. It is done. And I like having that to-do list check mark feeling every week as much as I can. But that is it. Manure's all picked up, and I hope you all have a beautiful week this next week. I'll see you next time.